to the Efed podcast, the podcast exploring our fantasy wrestling hobby, where the wrestling is written, but the characters are real. All right, everybody, we're back with another edition of the Efed podcast here on the Atomic Dropcast Network. I am your host, Mikey Unlikely, joined, as always, by Brian, the producer, co-host of the show. Brian, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing fantastic, sir. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here talking about e-wrestling once again, and this week we're talking about all kinds of different stuff.
All kinds.
Exploring the whole spectrum of e-feds. We've got Glenn on the show for the interview. Glenn is the handler over at Social Media Wrestling Association. This guy has guts for days, Brian. He is in video promo feds.
Oh, man. That is a whole new world.
We were just talking about this off air, but those guys... We've seen a lot of them over at EWTs.com. Give a shout out to WEW
Indeed.
For hosting their gear over there. But we've seen a lot of these guys coming now to buy T-shirts to wear as gear in their promos.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, wrestling gear, but hey, it's close enough, right?
Absolutely. So
get your character's name on a T-shirt. What better sells that video promo than some personalized T-shirts?
So I've been introduced to these video feds not only by what we've seen over on Facebook here, but also on Twitter. So I guess they're coming around.
I guess if you're going to do video, that's where you want to be, all the social networks, Twitter and Facebook. I mean, be able to host your videos and share them easily.
Well, that's right. We're going to talk about Glenn and ask him about the video stuff here today. Turns out he was a writing wrestler just like the rest of us, and then turned into the video stuff.
Turned. Dun, dun, dun.
Not a heel turn, Brian. Calm down. We've also got CR Wrestling on the show today. They're a Caw Fed over on YouTube, and we're going to talk about them as well, Brian, the Caw side of things.
Oh, man. This is just like the alternate universe episode. We got promo feds, you got Caw Feds. I'm sure there's answers from written wrestlers in here on the question of the week.
There sure is. It is a proverbial melting pot of e-wrestling. Well, very good. We've also got the question of the week this week. And Brian, the question, if your wrestler wasn't a wrestler, what would they do for a living? What's the backup plan for your guy or girl if they were not a wrestler? And we got a lot of really good answers, But Brian, let's hit you. What would Scott Douglas be doing now that he's not a wrestler?
Oh, man, I don't know. Probably a roadie for like an aging grunge band or something.
There you go. That's a little outside the box.
Like a Green River reunion tour, performing in front of 100 people in Tacoma, and he like sets the mics up or something.
It's perfect. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious what Mikey's.
Mine's super obvious because he was an actor / Hackett actor. So I think that it's kind of obvious that he would go back to that, and that's kind of the gimmick I've run with since I tired the character.
Lake Placid 14 and a half.
Not that low. But I would say maybe instead of Hollywood, maybe he had to trek over to Bollywood to make it happen.
Oh, some dance numbers. I hear you.
So we're going to get to your answers, guys, and I'm excited to see what you've got for us, what your wrestlers would be doing. Some of you went serious, some of you went comical, and we're going to have fun reading them. And we've got so much jam-packed into this episode that, Brian, we better get going.
Let's do it.
Episode 77, guys, coming at you.
The Efed podcast is a totally free podcast that drops each and every single week for your e-wrestling ears on a multitude of apps. If you'd like to support the show, however, the best way to do so is over at patreon.com/Efed podcast. For as little as $3 a month, you can support both Brian and myself as we crank out more e-wrestling content with perks such as early releases and special Discord designations. And if that's not enough EW action for you, jump up to the $10 a month tier and you can get a free EWT's t-shirt design, early and ad-free editions of the show, as well as access to our monthly Q&As, bad graps, and more. And if you'd like to be a sponsor on the show and get your ad played, the best way to do that is the sponsor level on Patreon, with all of the previous perks, plus weekly commercials on the show. Check it out over at patreon.com/efedpodcast. We greatly appreciate your consideration.
Occupy Pro Wrestling, putting the smart back into smart mark since 2012, with a community on Discord and message boards, merchandise, a weekly vodcast on Twitch, and much more. Check out everything from us and our site partners at occupyprowrestling.com.
Efed Tees, the #1 source for Efed merchandise, offering custom merchandise made for your wrestler, tag team, stable, or Efed. Whether you want a high-quality t-shirt, face mask, hoodie, hat, it doesn't matter. We can help you out over at efedtees.com. Do you have a custom logo for your wrestler? Awesome. We're going to slap it on a shirt and help you out real fast. If not, no problem at all. We have a custom design service too. You can work with a graphic artist to get the perfect design made for your character. Go on over to ewtees.com and click on Want a Shirt to get your shirt started. efedtees.com.
Defiance, an angle-fed boasting 8 years of continuous fantasy wrestling. Defiance offers opportunities for original characters, micros, a standalone website utilizing Backstage 3 script, and a forum hosted on the long-running fwrestling.com, as well as a roster full of some of the most experienced writers in the game. Come see for yourself at defiancewrestling.com. That's defiancewrestling.com.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Efed Spotlight segment here on the show. Today, we're going to be talking about a CAW-fed CR Fire Pro and Pain and Agony Wrestling. Brian, CR Wrestling as a whole.
How does this Fed operate?
So CR Fire Pro uses a ladder rung system for rankings and championships. Wow. Mathematically, they divide the total number of wrestlers in the division by 3 and round down. That gives a max number of ranks one can challenge. Titles are defended once a month until the summer series begin.
Sounds complex, sounds very well thought out.
And obviously they're using Fire Pro for this, the Fire Pro video game.
I'd hope so.
Especially with the name, right?
It's in the name.
So they're using Fire Pro for that, and then we've got Pain and Agony Wrestling, Brian, and PAW is a hardcore series which operates on match rankings. The winner gains the points of that match, and every 100 points gains a title match. That's pretty straightforward.
So Paw is a CAW.
Paw is a CAW. And you've heard of CAWs, and now you've heard of Paws. So we've got Paw on the show as well. And of course, they're using Fire Pro Wrestling World, and they are 100% simulated, Brian.
Oh, nice. Take the human error out of the equation. How often are they having shows and or pay-per-views?
So they're having weekly shows and sometimes special events as well, but then they have big pay-per-view events monthly. PAW, the Hardcore Fed, is seasonal with no pay-per-views.
Very nice. Very nice. So as far as rules, what are we looking at?
So they go with traditional wrestling rules for CR Fire Pro, unless a heated rivalry begins, and then there are other matches and gimmicks they'll add to it. But there are also intergender matches. It's being a game is the only allowance, as it places both genders on equal footing, no matter what is done to any parameter or logic. So the game automatically puts them on an equal foot.
There you go. I mean, and as we know, as we've learned through the Efed podcast, Fire Pro is very intense with the logic and the moves and the numbers and the...
Yeah, and you adjust strategies, and you can build all these giant move sets and the characters. I downloaded this game and tried to build a character after playing years and years of WWE games, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing. That was so bad.
You tapped out?
I tapped out. But speaking of tapped out, over in PAW, Pain and Agony, no DQ, win by all means, including injury. In addition, it's an all-male company with women being valets only in Pain and Agony.
Oh, there you go. So what are we looking at between these two as far as active championships?
Well, CR Fire Pro has 8. Ooh. They've got the junior heavy, the heavy, the tag team, the master of 4, and the women's championship. They've also got the junior heavy and tag team for the road branch. So they've got a road branch and a TV branch, so different divisions.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then Pain and Agony has 1 championship, the Pain and Agony Championship.
One and done.
you definitely know who the champion of that Fed is.
There's no denying it. So the top 10 wrestlers, I guess it's split up in both, so top 20-ish.
Top 20. All right, good enough. CR Fire Pro has Tree of Mass, Plush, Soberana, Dragoness,
Okay.
Ralphmon Baramata. I'm terrible at these names, guys. Natural Born Empress,
I love that you're reading these names.
Life, Hemlock, The Matriarch, Ecuador Oboro,
What about that one?
Kyadjin,
Sure.
and of course their tag teams Cold, Redemption, Castigation, Reality, Malfeasance, The Bludgeoners, Sovereign Riptide, JWO Rock, Queens of the Jungle, and Natural Born Majesty.
And it stands to note, these are in no specific order, and Mikey's pronunciation of your name, whether correct or horribly butchered, has no bearing on the validity of these characters.
Yes, I am terrible with Japanese names, terrible with a lot of names. So we've also got the Pain and Agony roster, Brian. So actually it's the top 30, I think.
Oh.
We've got, there's only singles in Pain and Agony, and so far the Warden, Rex Regum, Eric Huds, Randall Von Bader, Calvin Bronzehand, and that's it so far in Pain and Agony.
I love that in our notes, hi Paul, it says, not a typo. There's no E in Bronzehand.
Well, that's straight from the Fed head. Of course, you can find CR Fire Pro on Twitter at CRW717.
Everyone in the 717.
And of course, in the website link is crw717.wixsite.com/CRFP. That's crw717.wixsite.com/CRFP.
So that's the gist of it. That's the roster and the titles and the rules and everything. But what kind of roster size are we looking here?
CR Fire Pro has 100, give or take, characters.
Damn.
And Pain and Agony currently has 15.
That's pretty good. I mean, especially even in Pain and Agony, that's a big difference. But Pain and Agony, just that one championship, 15 makes sense.
That's absolutely right.
Well, it seems like very active period across the two. I mean, 115, give or take. That's a sizable roster.
100%. Huge roster, and they got a lot of flexibility, maybe to move some of those guys over or, build a different division out of Pain and Agony.
Yeah, and I'm sure they probably move people from the road to TV or vice versa.
100%. And so what sets this Fed apart, Brian, is that the most neutral way they can say it, they have a policy of honor that wrestlers and fighters are to perform as needed, no matter the win or loss. So only heavy losing streaks will gain improvements, and no competitor will be reworked simply to win or lose matches. Match outcomes are never predetermined. The strongest policy is that legit finishers and big moves must attempt a win via pin, and rarely a submission after such a heavy move. Competition must be legit and honest, and as for Pain and Agony, it is all legal hits and damage. Caring about others' safety is prohibited. There you go. Prohibited.
P-A-W, P-A-W, P-A-W.
The hardcore Fed, guys, if you're into Fire Pro Feds, if you're into CAW Feds and simulation Feds, sounds like CR Fire Pro is a Fed you want to check out right away at CR Wrestling. They are, again, on Twitter at
CRW717.
And online at crw717.wixsite.com/CRFP.
/CRFP.
Got to keep the gimmick going.
Couldn't really get the .com in there. It's a little wordy.
So guys, check it out. Definitely if you're into that kind of fit. And it's time for the question of the week. Guys, we posted on Twitter, we posted on Discord, we give you the chance to give us your answers. Each and every week, the Efed Podcast question of the week comes live at you. And this week's question, Brian, we read it at the top of the show. if your wrestler wasn't a wrestler, what would they be doing? What's the backup plan for your guy or gal in the real world?
How are they going to make that money?
You got to make it somewhere. So we're going to hit it on Discord. Brian, I will hit you with or you hit me with the names. I'll hit you with the readings, and then we'll switch it up for Twitter.
Let's do it. Starting off, first and foremost, FBW owner, damn it. It's Meg.
Megan would, Meg G would be a sportscaster. Brittany Helms would be in the Navy. KPN, a gynecologist. Anya Coyle, a psychologist. So there you go, Brian. A wide range of different professions for these lovely ladies. Of course, the wrestling gynecologist would be original.
Very much so. I mean, it's no wrestling dentist, but up next, it's Tony.com.
Tony says Dominic Sanders will be a pro football player. Okay. And adorned it with a pic of his pick base.
Who is that in the pick base?
I don't know.
Moving on. Up next, it's Ross. It's Rossi Orton on Discord.
Ross, I will play it straight, seeing that Brian got mad last time I answered this in character because he had to read it. Well, I'm reading it today, Ross, and I would have been fine with it. Just depends on which week it is. Malik Garland would move to California to become a crunchy hippie and sell vintage novels in a bookstore coffee shop. That sounds like a nice retirement.
Yeah, I don't like crunchy hippies, more of a smooth hippie.
Oh, okay. And Cyrus Bates would return to powerlifting. Teresa Ames would be a social media influencer, producing ASMR videos for her followers and streaming questionable content on Twitch.
Ooh.
That's almost what we do, Brian.
Hey, Twitch, here we come. I mean, for starters, Ross, I mean, come on, man. Don't be such a Malik Garland. Don't be such a pushover. If you want to answer in character, don't let me bully you.
You'll just get fired like Joe.
You just get fired. Speaking of firings, up next, it's the man who should have been a long time ago. It's Highlander 4H. It's Ron Hall, McDon Hall.
Hashtag Mikey Facts. Okay. Not sure what my wrestler would have done. They were involved in the sport most of their adult life. Good non-answer, Ron. Thanks for wasting our time.
Yeah, I mean, you could have went with Lucha Mask Impresario, janitor.
Or janitor.
I mean, there's all kind of answers there. That would have popped us.
Custodian, dick. Okay.
Yeah. Well, again, still in line with the people who should be fired. Up next is Cat Cassidy.
Joe. Pat Cassidy would something really blue collar like construction.
That a shot at me, Joe?
Shot at Brian. Shots fired. Ned Reform, college professor or political pundit.
Ooh.
I like that. It's out of the box. And finally, Freddie Kilgore, completely off the grid. Money ain't got no place in the law of the jungle, baby.
Ooh. And where's Freddie Kilgore? Where's he wrestle?
Classic-wrestling.com. Check it out for all your micro RP needs.
There you go. Nice shameless plug. And also, Joe, you're fired. Up next.
Fired from mine, too. Okay.
You're double fired. Need the gif of the Back to the Future facts. Up next, it is our good friend Elias, aka Alias, aka Pseudonym.
Pseudonym up next. Probably a crackhead. That's a good thing to be for a living.
Hey, get in where you fit in.
Don't do crack, kids.
Please don't. Don't do crack and read more books. Speaking of books, up next, it's Pete. It's the Shadow Pope.
Hell of a transition, Brian.
I'm a segue man.
Buy Pete's book, The Legend, One Chance, Legend of Valerian's Garden on Amazon.
Do it.
Eli Flair would be a construction worker. He'd be up there working with Joe. Ivy McGinnis, small business owner and computer hacker. I like that. Little secret agent action on the side.
Go.
Impulse would be a stuntman.
Oh.
Aren't we all?
Hey.
Callie, a bartender. That makes perfect sense.
There you go.
And MJF, a college student.
Is that a career?
Well, she's going to forever go to college. Just study different things always.
Rather than a belt collector, a diploma collector.
There you go. I like it.
I got you.
Wide range for Pete.
Speaking of things you should buy, up next, it's Warren, MDG, Modern Day Gladiators.
Modern Day Gladiators. Check it out on Drive-Thru RPG. Meanwhile, Grant Essex would be a football coach. Ethan Hale in sales. Good. I'm looking for some good salesmen.
Ooh.
And Deacon, Bollywood actor. Oh, see?
Hey.
I beat you to it, Warren, even though I knew you answered that. He would always play the bad guy with his thick Egyptian accent.
So what you're telling me, Mikey, is there's a little bit of gimmick infringement going on with this question here today.
I see it. I see him coming in after my gimmick. I'm not a fan.
Oh, speaking of gimmicks that should never be infringed on, up next, it's Bobo, it's Bobby Dean.
Bobby Dean would be a male stripper and then a hobo when no one would hire him.
It's that SNL skit with Chris Farley and
yeah, what's his name? Patrick Swayze?
yeah, the Chippendales.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of Chippendales, that's a bad segue. Sorry, Seth. Up next, Seth is Burns.
Oscar Burns would be in marketing. Uriel Cortez would be a bouncer or a bodyguard, which is what he did prior to wrestling. Titaness, fitness instructor or bodybuilder. And Minute, masked circus. I can't even say this word.
Circus du Soleil.
Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, sure.
Circus du Soleil.
Performer number 6.
Performer number 6.
He's very specific.
He knows that role well.
I think Seth has seen some old circus du. I know how to say this word until someone
Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, until someone wrote it down. Now I can't say it.
It doesn't read like it looks.
It really doesn't. Well,
Cirque du Soleil.
Speaking of circuses, it's Billy in the Field.
Because they put circuses in fields. Okay.
Yes.
Elise Aries, movie star, OBS.
Totally OBS.
Matt LaCroix, probably some kind of skilled laborer, like a machinist.
Oh.
And Declan Alexander, a video game streamer. OBS again.
Totally OBS. I could see Matt LaCroix getting super skinny like Christian Bale in that movie, The Machinist.
I don't think that's what he meant.
That's what I got from it. Anyway.
Okay.
Up next is Ryan. It's Strauss-Madamus.
Strauss-Madeus.
Oh, that's what it
Strauss-Madeus.
is. I was thinking Nostradamus. My bad.
Yeah, Strauss-Madeus.
That makes more sense with the double up and the comma.
Kerry Koriyama, mixed martial arts competitor.
Oh, okay.
Resin, eco-terrorist / weed dealer / record store clerk / performance artist / vocalist to a hardcore punk band. All of those at the same time.
So Jack Black in High Fidelity. That's what
And the Amazing Amarettos would be magicians, obviously.
Totally.
They are the wrestling magicians.
And speaking of the spotlight, I guess we weren't speaking of it, but we were prior. CR Fire Pro in the Discord. You'd love to see it.
Muto Turka, a politician or running multiple wrestling feds, trying to drown out bad wrestling.
Oh.
The DNC Devil would be an accountant. And Woe, as a stable, would be social politics to turn correctional facilities into positive places.
I think that's JWO.
JWO, I'm sorry.
They just read you that line.
JWO, which is a stable, would be social politics to turn correctional facilities into positive places.
Oh.
You love to see it, Christy.
I don't know what's the bigger hurdle, drowning out bad wrestling or turning correctional facilities into positive places.
How can we do both? That's what we got to find out.
Ooh, prison wrestling.
Asylum. It's already happened. Okay.
Death row. Anyway.
Kicking over to the Twitter side of things, we're going to flip the script, Brian. I'm going to read the names. You're going to hit us with the answers.
Sounds like a plan.
And we got about 7 pages of this, so I hope you're ready.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
Leandra Black, at Fury has a name.
Take over the Snow Hotel that her family owns in Norway and be more hands-on with her duties as her clan's firstborn and prepare to take over as the head of the clan once her mother decides to hand over control.
Well, there you go.
It's well thought out.
Obviously from a different country.
Yeah,
Family with Norway. Yeah.
Yeah, but that different country.
At Wrestling Cartel, it's Insurgents Wrestling Cartel.
My wrestler owns $1 billion conglomerate. Quote unquote on the side. Hashtag Efeds.
The hashtag Efeds explains it because anything happens in Efed.
Anything.
Speaking of anything, at Connor Fuse is up next. That's at Fire Flower Fuse. Sorry about that.
And he says simply, LOL, come on. I'm assuming.
Video game tester.
Yeah.
Or maker or designer. I don't know.
Something. You know what Connor Fuse would be? Remember that movie Grandma's Boy? He'd be
yes.
Like, meh, meh, meh. He'd be that guy.
I am not a nerd. Okay.
I am a robot.
Up next, Brian, it's one of our favorites. Philippe Legault at Armenian Beast.
Oh, Philippe. I'm pretty sure we've said Philip many times. Is town drunk a job as such? Man, I hope so. I really do, man.
We're trying to lock it up over here.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we're different towns over here. We're trying to lock it down, South Carolina, Ohio. Gergen has, in the past, driven a truck for his uncle's lumber business, though the truck wasn't too happy about that arrangement. Damn. He'd probably live in a shack somewhere up a mountain and live off the land.
That's nice too, though. I once had a job the truck was not very happy I had as well. Burned out a clutch my first day.
He made the truck very unhappy.
I didn't know how to drive a stick. I told them that, and they still put me in it. So here we are.
Tisk, tisk.
Anyway, he's back with a second one, Brian.
As for the Bhutanese beast, he's a lieutenant in the Bhutanese army, so he'd probably go back to that. Makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of people go back to what they know.
You got to. You got to know which side your butter is breaded on.
Well, speaking of buttered bread, I'm terrible at these transitions. At Vodka Black is up next.
Indeed, and we are back to circuses once again. As I believe she says, circus clown.
See, Brian, we talk about how wide the spectrum of e-fetting is. We talk about hitting all these topics, and we still end up at circus clowns.
I mean, it's all carny based anyway, right?
It's all carny. Okay.
At
the 7 or at ODJ 7 Deadly Sins. It's the 7 Deadly Sins, Brian.
And there are 4 names here. Marcus Kadarian, who would be an IT mogul. Emoji with some glasses. Xavier Lux would be an assassin. Ninja emoji. The Moldovos.
Try that again.
The Malvados.
There you go.
Telenova stars. Groucho Marx emoji.
Nice touch.
Cholo Santana. Personal trainer. Flexi arm bicep emoji.
You can't see it, but I'm doing it right now.
I had to do it too to remember the word bicep.
At Griffin Hawkins. God damn it, I keep on saying the wrong at. At Whammy Bar, it's Griffin Hawkins.
Wow. Pound sign. Och. Either a firefighter or a hockey player. Sounds about right.
Hey, there's answers we haven't gotten yet.
Yeah, I mean, Whammy Bar. I assume he has a mullet or is willing to have one. Hockey, firefighter, fits.
I wonder if he's Canadian.
Ooh.
At Dresden 45, it's Dresden 45.
With a simple answer, a chef.
I like it. Nice and easy. Up next is Jamie and Jonna Austin at Style Texas Snake.
Jonna would be a veterinarian, while Jamie would be a chef. Man, that's 2 chefs back to back.
Chef City up here.
Man, chefing it up.
Victoria McKenzie's next at Miss Mainstream.
/ probably a history teacher.
I loved history in school, Brian. What about you?
Oh, it's the only subject I was good at.
Yeah. Spoiler. I watched so many documentaries today.
Hey, that's the good stuff.
Tony Savage is up next. Warlord of the Districts at Tweets by Tony.
#. Ugh. Tony's a military contractor and a merc off the clock, so his backup plan is already set.
It's going to do some merkin.
Some merkin. Does that merc have a mouth? Is it the merc with the mouth?
Oblivion is up next at Distorted Amber.
/ probably still a carny, or she'd have become a full-time mechanic. You could do both.
You can fix the carnival rides.
There you go. No one wants to ride those.
Louis Pohl representing Crash Rodriguez at Rodriguez Crash up next.
/ Crash would be a butcher.
You love to see it.
You love to see when they shorten probably. He was really in danger of hitting that that
word count.
Cap. Yeah.
At FVCKU Donahue, it's Diamond.
/ he would probably be a corpse. Can't live without wrestling, I guess.
He'd be dead.
Mm-hmm.
Popping off at the mouth because that's what he does on Twitter.
Oh.
At El Diablo Blanco. Damn it, I said at again. El Diablo Blanco is up next at Diablo Blanco PW.
Back to the 9 to 5, brother. Hopefully, getting my job back as a medical coder for a hospital. Gotta make those ends meet. MEET. Even if that phrase once met you, sorry, misspelling on his behalf. Even if that phrase once meant you had a ton of dinero, gotta support the familia, brother.
Brother. You love to see it. El Diablo Blanco, a fun follow on Twitter.
Yeah, I joke with your answer. I enjoyed it, though.
Yeah, he goes back and forth between written feds and video stuff and uses pictures of himself in a mask. It's terrific.
Oh, that's him in the, okay, I see it. Okay, I see you. Should buy a t-shirt.
Former guest on the show, Greg Ward the Boss, at Greg Ward the Boss.
/ without question, an MMA gym owner or a baseball player in Japan.
Nice.
Widely varying answers. I mean, I guess they're both.
That's what I like. Yeah.
I guess they're both sports, but like, yeah, own a gym, or I'll go be Mr. Baseball.
But only in Japan.
Circa 1983. Tom Selleck.
Ulf Hedner is up next at the Lone Ulf.
/ if he had ever been a wrestler, probably a tour guide. Oh, I'm sorry. / if he had never been a wrestler, probably a tour guide for trails in Norway. After his first stint, he would have gone to MMA. Well, he should He should link up with our first answer.
I was going to say the same thing.
And he could provide some Norway tours in conjunction with the Snow Hotel. Leandra
Perfect.
Black.
That's a nice little benefit to getting a room at the Snow Hotel.
Oh.
A Snowtel. Okay.
So, Snowtel, Motel, Snow
Holiday Inn. All right. Ciela Louise is up next at Ciela Louise.
Seeing as she's from the future, probably a rocker.
She's going to steal music from the past.
I don't understand that answer at all. I like it. I don't get it. Like, all right. I see you.
Brandon Moore is up next. What is a villain?
I mean, really, what is a villain? Brandon Moore would be a social worker for abandoned children and make sure they have a good place to go. I didn't see that coming at all.
Great babyface answer.
I mean, from what is a villain to social worker. Well, I mean, good on Brandon Moore, I suppose.
This is like an Oscar Burns answer.
I got you. Yeah, it is.
At Cade Lachlan, it's Lachlan Cade up next.
He'd own and manage a multimedia company specializing in wrestling graphics, EWDs.com, which is kind of my side gig on Twitter for the community already. But this gave me an idea to add it to my gimmick. Thank you, Efed Podcast.
You're welcome, buddy. He gave a shout out to us on Twitter a couple weeks ago, so shout out to Lachlan Cade as well.
100%. And honestly, I mean, graphics are they're not that hard, but there's a few people who can do them, and yeah, shout out to the people out there who are out here, doing them for these different feds and whatnot. Because I mean, we all know how much that adds to an experience. So shout out Lachlan Cade.
Absolutely. Speaking of shout outs, Agent JVDR is JVD Rooster, former guest on the show.
A cook or a chef, depending on the type of restaurant.
I like it.
So Waffle House or like fine dining.
Either way, make me something because I'm hungry.
I'm starving.
All right. Oh, we're finally at the last page, Brian.
Ooh, thank you.
On Twitter, at A55_H01E. It spells out asshole. It's Casey fucking Cash.
Oh, man. Talking about gimmick infringement. Mikey, you got to get your cease and desist ready. / rapper. Casey is lyrically talented. Plus, he dropped an EP like 5-6 months ago. So he'd be looking to continue that success.
Fair enough. Another fairly original answer so far.
Yeah, we've not had that. I don't think we've had too much musically inclined except for the rock star from the future.
Yep. All right, Mary Ellen Harrison is up next at Ravens_ME.
And she's got a couple of them. / at Sexy Sarah 5BW. Would be a cheerleader in her early 20s. After that, she would be a nurse.
Good life decisions. Okay.
There you go. At Princess_Prick. Jesus. Would try to get into politics somehow. Could aim for senator. Now with a name like that.
Or aim for princess.
yeah, go for royalty. Well, shoot high. And finally, for at Ravens_ME, it's at Carrion Quinn 5BW. Would probably be a Walmart greeter. No, probably a chef.
Okay. A lot of chefs.
You could probably do both.
I heard the hours are pretty light at Walmart.
I especially for a greeter, for sure.
At Faye the Red Omega, it's Faye Lange.
Lange or Lang?
Faye Lange. Faye Lang.
Phalanges. Fingers. Faye would be training as a chef, another chef. Her cooking is pretty good. Without that training, though. So she knows what she's doing. She doesn't have the
she's pretty good without training.
Yeah. Take a course or two.
Kind of like I am at this podcast thing. You know what I'm saying? Hey. Austin Ramsey's up next at Austin Ramsey 152.
Personal trainer and teach fitness classes at a gym. I think that's the same thing. Kinda. I guess maybe not. Maybe not. Personal trainer is more personal with a client, and then like fitness would be like, all right, guys, let's aerobicize.
We should start doing personal podcasts where we just gear it towards one person at a time for a fee.
Yeah, like $5,000.
Towards Will. Love you, Will. Okay. Sam Chapman's up next at Lone Wolf Samuel.
Up next, and finally, to finish off the Twitter game here, which was a long one, but thanks everyone for participating. He says, a model and professional hoe. Laughing, crying emoji.
That's a good way to cap it off.
He's such a fucking hoe.
I love it.
I don't know if I love it. I don't know him like that.
Well, very good, guys. Thanks for participating in this week's question of the week. You can find it each and every week pinned to the top of that Twitter profile. You can also find it on Discord in the question of the week channel. That's where you don't have to be held to that limit of whatever it is that Twitter holds you to these days. So check it out. Thanks for answering. Next week, you could be featured on the show.
Hey, this is George, the handler of Cool Cancer Giles. You're listening to the coolest podcast on the internet, the Efed podcast. Your host, Mikey.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Efed podcast interview series. Today, we're joined by Glenn Sexton of the SWA, the Social Media Wrestling Association, over on Facebook. We're going to talk about this Fed, but we're going to talk before that about him and how he got into e-wrestling, how he got into wrestling, all of that fun stuff. Glenn, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing really good. Excited to have you on. Kind of came in contact with you guys about a year ago on Facebook. And
I know. It's crazy. It's been a year.
Yeah, we got you on the list, and it's taken forever, especially now that we're bi-weekly. I get it, but glad to have you on the show finally. You guys kind of introduced me to the Facebook video promo Fed, so it's been fun following along. Recently, I deactivated my Facebook, so I can't really follow along. We're going to have to figure out a way to rectify that, get you guys on a website somewhere.
Yeah. We're planning stuff for a website because I feel like Facebook is going to be changing a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, it's been happening with other groups that I'm a part of, and it's like, just leave it alone.
Yeah, there's other ways to do this.
like today, I couldn't even tag people to videos.
Okay.
In groups, and I'm like, are you shitting me? I'm not going to go.
I'm not going to post this with nobody.
Person. Like, I'm not going into the comment section and tagging everybody. That's just ridiculous. I'm not doing it.
That's awesome. So, no, we'll get there. We'll talk about that and the struggles with Facebook. Let's talk about you. When did you first become a wrestling fan?
God, man, I became a wrestling fan when I was like 2 years old. My first pay-per-view was WrestleMania 6. And it became like my favorite pay-per-view of all time. Like, I discovered that just recently. Like, I went back and watched it, and I'm like, God, this is so damn good. Like, I was like, damn, okay, this is my favorite, because I knew like all the matches and how they ended and everything. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is it. This is my favorite. So if somebody's like, oh, well, which one's your favorite WrestleMania? I'll be like, well, this one right here. And they're like, why?
What?
It's so random.
It's not one of the big ones, not the one people talk about ever. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have Shawn Michaels. Well, I mean, it does have Shawn Michaels, but it has him as a rocker.
Yeah.
Not the Heartbreak Kid that everybody loves today.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, dude, it was just an innocent time, really. You know?
It just holds a special place for you because it was your first.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And God, I remember the freaking toys I used to have, the wrestling buddies, the Hasbro figures. Jesus, every time I look back at that pay-per-view, I'm like, oh my God, I had so many freaking things.
So were your parents wrestling fans?
Yeah.
Obviously,
my grandparents were, my mom was. They always tried to get pay-per-views for me. It was funny, my mom always was like, you know, when you weren't around, we never bought a pay-per-view. But as soon as you get born, we ended up getting like every single pay-per-view that they had advertised. And I was like, my bad, I'm sorry.
No, that's a good thing, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It just piqued my interest like really early in my life.
Good. That's awesome. That's a cool way to get into it. I mean, just being introduced by your parents at such a young age, you have to grow up your entire life as a wrestling fan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a break. There was a break in my younger years. Like, I don't know how it happened. Like, I stopped watching around when the Attitude Era started.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay. And then like it came back into my life where I watched WrestleMania 14 and I was like, holy shit, this is actually good. Holy crap. Why did I stop watching this? And I'm just like, and then all of a sudden we started getting like SummerSlams and stuff like that. And then just went on watching wrestling for the rest of my life.
That's great. So, who were some of your favorite wrestlers growing up?
Oh man, Ultimate Warrior was my favorite.
That's awesome. I don't get that answer very often, unless like people who were born there and were a kid at that moment when like Hulk versus Warrior, that's when I get the Warrior. But if it's not that, then almost nobody says it.
Well, I was born in '88, so I mean, I saw that when I was back in 1990, and I remember it.
Yeah,
and I'm like, Jesus Christ! But I love Ultimate Warrior. Everybody thought I was a Hogan kid. I'm like, no, not a Hogan kid. Love Randy Savage.
Yep.
Shawn Michaels became one of my favorites growing up. Rick Rude was a favorite of mine. Mr. Perfect. Just people that kind of lead towards the heel kind of factor was like, that was when I started growing up a little bit. Like, holy shit, these guys are actually cool.
Yeah, they're cocky. They're cool.
Yeah. I mean, they're not the baby face. Oh, we'll just do this, that, and the other. No, I mean, these guys will get people to boo them just by saying a word, and I'm like, that's actually awesome.
Yeah. So give me your Mount Rushmore then. Top 4 all time out the door.
Oh shit. Oh, I hate that question.
Yeah.
All right. Shawn Michaels definitely has to be in there. Bret Hart. I'm gonna have to go Stone Cold. And then, oh God, I get flipped on this one.
It's got to be Warrior.
It's Warrior, yeah, it is. But everybody's like, well, you got to go Undertaker. And they're like, nah, you got to go Ric Flair, dude. And I'm like, and it's always that debate, like Undertaker or Flair. And I'm like, I don't know. So flip a coin, it's this one or that one. But since you said Ultimate Warrior, I'm going Ultimate Warrior.
I like it.
Made my mind up.
That's a hell of a Mount Rushmore.
It's got to be Warrior, Glenn. I'm like, you're right. It's got to be fucking Warrior.
That's awesome. So let's talk about e-wrestling. How did you find it and when?
God, I found it by accident. Back when
most people do. It's crazy.
Back when I was a teenager, actually, back in 2005, they would have like advertisements of like fantasy wrestling and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, what's this about? Let's look at it. And it was like an email thing at first. Like you would have to type out your bio and then kind of type up your promo or whatever. Like back then I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was just typing shit, sounded all right, whatever. And of course, being a teenager, you go for the abbreviations for words.
Of course.
Which a lot of people hated. And I was like, oh, I did not know you hated that. My bad.
If you're not, if you're not an all-star writer in a writing fed, that's what they're worried about, grammar and everything else.
But me being like a 14, 15-year-old.
Oh, no, I get it. Yeah, I started when I was like 12 or 13. It's crazy.
I'm just like, BRB, whatever.
ASL.
ASL. I didn't even know what LOL was back then.
That's awesome.
I didn't even know that was an abbreviation, but whatever. But it was like an email fed at first, and I was like, all right, that's kind of cool. And then I kind of dove a little bit deeper into it, and then there were forums.
Yeah. Where
I came into NSWA. Forgot what it stands for. It's been so freaking long.
Sure.
But it was powered by forums. I used to talk to one person. I've known her for like 20 plus years. She was in SWA for a short while. And it was just weird. Like, because I mean, back when you do that kind of thing, like the first thing that pops for a character, you think of something that you like.
Yeah.
Well, me back then was TNA wrestling.
Okay.
TNA wrestling was pretty badass back then.
Yeah.
That was when you saw AJ Styles for the first time, Christopher Daniels, Mojo.
Amazing
and
Red.
Of course, Amazing Red. Then, of course, my name back then was the phenomenal Glenn Sexton. I wonder where I got that name from. And I don't know. I was just goofing around with it and be like, all right, cool. Still typing, not too into it. Well, I was into it, but kind of like, okay, this isn't really a job or whatever. I'm just going to type this up. Became tag champion there, television champion, world heavyweight champion, and then took a break. Life happened.
Absolutely. Yep.
I had to grow up a little bit. and pay bills and stuff.
There was women. That's what happened. Let's be honest.
There was that too. Especially that weren't like online.
Yes.
They were actually wanting to talk to me. And
all right, I gotta go.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh well, shit. This promo ain't getting done. I'll get back to it here in a minute. But I just ended up quitting, and God, that was back when I was a teenager, late teens. Good Lord. And then Facebook came into Facebook. Don't even remember when. And there was wrestling groups, which love them to death. Love all the wrestling groups. And then a couple years ago, got reintroduced to Feds. Through
a wrestling group.
Yeah, through a wrestling group.
Okay.
And that's where I met like a couple of my buddies, just like Rick Lewis.
Great guy.
Thomas. Oh, love Rick to death. Thomas Walker Jr.
Great guy.
Caleb, yeah, he's too. Caleb Morris, who's actually a pro wrestler now.
Great guy. Yeah.
Which is all three great guys. I mean, I've known those guys for the longest time, and we got into like this little kind of Fed thing. It was like a video thing, and then you competed by using GIFs. I don't know how this happened. I'm just like, all right, throw this out. I threw out a couple GIFs that weren't even wrestling related.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's like a Family Guy GIF out there somewhere with Quagmire just going giggity, and that's it. But did that, and then kind of took a break from it for a little bit. And then I saw a couple of my friends from an older group doing video promos and Efed called IW.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you heard.
Yeah. I had Mike Bell on the show many months ago. One of my good friends in the hobby.
Oh, hell yeah. But I just watched what they were doing and everything, and just seeing that they were doing amazing things with editing and green screens and stuff like that. I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm going to do this. So they're just like, I was like, whatever. I'm just gonna shoot my buddy a message and everything. Like, hey, how do you do this? What? How do I sign up? He's like, well, I'll get a hold of somebody for you. They'll talk to you and everything. Felt like a mafia deal or some sort of thing, like a drug deal.
All right, so don't tell anybody I told you this.
I'll get you the guy for you. Don't worry about asking questions. So I get a message, and he's like, hey, man, what's up? I'm like, hey, what's up? And that was the guy that was running their developmental IW riots. And he's like, so character-wise, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, be like kind of a smart-ass kind of character, kind of heelish, kind of a good guy, just to be a cool little tweener. He's like, I see you being like Joey Ryan. And I'm like, what? He's like, I want you to be a sleazeball. And I'm like, that ain't happening. That's just not going to happen whatsoever. Don't know how to be a sleazeball. I mean, I could be perverted, but there's just no way in hell.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
Yeah. So he's like, well, we'll figure something out. I tried it, but it just wasn't working out. And starting with IW, I didn't know what I was doing. Didn't know what I was getting into. People tend to go for the jugular pretty quick when they see a new guy.
Yeah.
Especially a heftier big guy. they're like
immediately with those jokes. Yeah.
Yep. Fat jokes and all that. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, come up with something different. I've heard it all before.
That's got to be the promo against it. And it's almost like a best case in that scenario. The best thing to do, and I see my other friend do this same situation, is he would get ahead of it and he would post first. And he said, okay, all you're going to say is I'm a fat guy, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. And then the other guy had nothing to say, and he won the fucking match.
Oh, shit. Last week, or this past week. That it was last week. But this one guy was in the comments just talking shit like, oh, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I'm like, ooh, good for you. Like, I haven't heard that 10,000 times.
Yeah.
Like,
At this point, what you do is you just take your laptop and you close it and you just walk away and have a real life and just say, okay, fuck that guy, I'm out.
Yeah. I mean, there's people in Efeds that troll, and then there's people that just want to have fun with it. That's how I am. I mean, I'll troll to an extent.
You have fun with people, but you're not going to make fun of people.
No, yeah. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, look at this guy.
Yeah.
Fucking kind of looks like Finn Balor, Mikey. That's what he kind of looks like. Like a discount Finn Balor. I'm not going to, well, okay.
Whoa, what the hell, dude?
That's a nice thing to say, though.
Discount Finn Balor.
I'm generally a nice guy. I mean, I know when to be a character. I know when to be serious and not to be serious. But all in all, it's just a game. You got to have fun with it.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to go into it and be like, oh, well, I'm going to be a dickhead just regardless. Like, no, just sign off, bro. Like, simple as that.
Just people who, we're not even getting into it.
Yeah, let's not. That's like a totally different.
That's a whole conversation we could just go into. Yeah. So you got back into the Facebook groups this time. Video Feds. You're in IW, and people are going for the jugular. And how do you react to that when you're first getting into video?
I mean, like you said, like just kind of like, oh, that's all you got. Like I've heard it 10,000 times.
Yeah.
Like, and it was like that for a little bit, and then they kind of saw like, oh shit, Glenn could actually talk. Like he's not this big fat kind of guy that just
no, dude.
There.
I'll be honest. When I found SWA, I saw your promos first, and I was like, that's the fucking guy. That's the guy.
Like, well, when I was in IW, that wasn't me. It was still me. It was still trying to figure out what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like I won a couple of championships in IW, like in their Omega brand and Riot's brand. Didn't really do a whole lot story wise. There's a big controversy between me and IW. Not really, but between IW and SWA. So I was in IW, and I was just starting in SWA. And like I've known Rick and Caleb, Thomas. I've known those guys for years. Of course, I'm going to be in an Efed with them. They
Absolutely.
say, "Hey, we're going to." They were like, "We're thinking about starting up like a 2-night only thing," and that's turned into what we're still doing. And I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it, dude." Like, you got me. Fuck it, I'll do it.
Yep.
And like IW was doing like a draft for because they had tons of people there when I was there.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I think they still have tons, don't they?
They sort of. I haven't been there in a while. I'm blocked.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I didn't do anything. Here's my defense. So they did this draft. I was champion in Omega and Riots. And they did the draft. I didn't even get the cut. I didn't even make the cut. And I'm their champion in 2 brands. And I'm like, something's up, dude. What's going on? So I go to my friend Tyler, who I was talking about at the beginning. Like, how do I get into here? He's like, it's a big roster, bud. Like, they probably forgot you. I'm like, how you going to forget your champion? Like, that's in 2 brands, bud. Something's up. And one of the writers for Omega was like, so, Glenn, I got a question for you. Like, I'm talking to the owner, trying to keep you in IW right now. I'm like, oh, really? Like, okay. Like, what can I do to help? And he's like, are you in a group called SWA? And I'm like, yeah, I'm in a group with SWA. Like, well, the owner kind of sees you as a red flag because SWA kind of ran their mouth to IW, which, like, it's all fair to SWA because Rick was also in IW, Thomas was too, Caleb was also, and they were treated wrongly in IW. And I was like, well, like, but I didn't say anything. Like, yeah, but you're associated with them and kind of sees you as a red flag. And I'm like, are you shitting me right now? A red flag? Like, I haven't done a damn thing, dude. Yeah. So I'm like, dude, he didn't even message me or anything. He had one of his other guys
message me. One of the staff message you.
Like, here, talk to this guy for me. I ain't going to do it. So I was like, I'm just going to make the decision for him. I'm just going to leave. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you're going to treat me like that, I'm gone. I mean, then they banned me from every IW group that they had. And that's when I became full-time in SWA.
So you mentioned prior that Rick and a couple of your other buddies were starting up a new Fed, Caleb, and is it Tyler?
Tyler was there for a short time.
Okay.
But then he became full-time for IW.
Gotcha.
Which is one of those feds that's exclusive.
Yep.
If you're exclusive, can't do any other feds.
I get it.
Supposed to be playing right here, and that's what they wanted me to do. And I'm like, nah, dude, I don't want to do that. I mean, like, there's a lot in Fed. There's a lot of groups.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it, man.
And each place is different. I mean, IW was kind of set up to be like the WWE of e-fedding, which that could be a whole show on itself too. I'm going to talk about it. Somebody's going to listen from IW. They're going to be like, "This son of a bitch still talking shit about us."
Let me on the show. Let me on the show.
Let me clear the record. Who's this asshole, Mikey? I need to talk to him right now.
And you know I'm going to do it. And you know I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and I'll be watching.
And then I'm going to get you both together on the same show. It's going to be a great time.
And I'll be like, "Oh, dude, that'd be a shit show.
I can't wait.
It would be a total shit show.
Ratings, baby, ratings."
Oh yeah, but it was like apparently SWA was a thing with when IW was around too, and then I guess everybody got busy, kind of said, okay, we'll just put SWA on the back burner, and then they found out that I promoed. And then they were like, Glenn, we're going to do SWA again. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. Fuck yeah, I'm down. Like, I don't even know what it is, but I'll do it. I don't even know half the people there. I'll do it. And, yeah, it had a two, it was supposed to be a 2-part event. Like, we were WrestleMania 30-something, then before WrestleMania 30-something was 2-night event. But he was like, we're going to make it a 2-night event. I think we did it in 1 because we were too excited about it. And that's when I won my first championship, was the Heritage Championship over there.
There you go. So SWA, if you go on Facebook, facebook.com, if you don't know.
Yeah, facebook.com.
Go on there, search in the search bar for social media, one word, Wrestling Association. That's where you'll find the Fed. They're part of another group. What is it, Glenn?
GWS?
GWS is a Generational Wrestling Society.
Yeah, that's just our wrestling kind of page.
Well, I got to put it over. Rick always put it over for me.
Yeah, we always put you over. We always put Mikey over. Like, if we do it after the night show, it's like, we got to talk about Mikey shit. Like, don't forget it. And then we'd be like, all right, let's fucking do it. Let's talk about Mikey shit.
No, it's much obliged. Yeah, Social Media Wrestling Association on Facebook. Check it out. If you're trying to get into this stuff, it's not only videos, right? It's written too, and there's all kinds of ways you intermingle e-wrestling.
Oh yeah, I mean, I thought written was the only way to do it, and then I saw video. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm spoiled. Staying with video.
I'm not writing another word.
Don't get me wrong. I love to write.
Yeah.
I love it. But now I can just sit in front of a camera, talk, act a certain way, make people laugh, and just be like, okay, this guy's an asshole. He can be an asshole at times. This is bullshit. And then I'd be like, yeah, I know. But once you talk to me like backstage or something like that, I'm just nice. I'm normal. Like, it turns off. Like, dude, I could chew a guy out 5 minutes straight, get off there and be like, okay, guys, what's up? What are we doing?
Yeah, when you and I started chatting on Facebook, I found the SWA, and obviously I liked your promos right off the bat. And I said, hey, Glenn, what's up? I found out you're from the same state. We're Buckeyes.
Yeah.
And
the only thing different is you're a Bengals fan and I'm a Steelers fan.
And you live in Bengals territory. That's the fucking problem.
I know.
Get out of my town, son. No.
You're all the way up there. You're nowhere near here.
Listen, it's in Ohio, okay? We're close enough. Anyway.
Fair enough.
Anyway. But yeah, no, I found out you're a Buckeye. We could chat, we could bullshit, we could have fun, we could talk. And yeah. You're totally not your character, obviously.
Yeah. Like, my character is every time everybody says, like, dude, what describe your character? Like, it's me just ramped up to 11.
Cranked up. You guys got to be cranked up.
It's just me. Like, it's a smart ass. It's somebody who's very observant with what he sees, especially if somebody's talking about him, and he will turn it around against you, especially if you do something stupid and slip up.
That's right.
But they're like, that's it? I'm like, yep. I'm like, that Glenn right there is like a rock star version of me.
Yeah. But when you're not writing a promo, you're just Glenn.
Yeah, just Glenn. I'm
easy.
And I'm just a easygoing guy. I'll drink a beer, have fun with you guys, sing songs, do whatever.
Whatever.
But
we're not going to sing any songs here today. Don't get excited, fans.
No, we're not. You don't need to hear that. No.
So you're in SWA. You win your first championship, as you mentioned, the Heritage Championship. Great name. I'm also a former Southern Heritage champion elsewhere.
Nice.
DefianceWrestling.com. Putting that over real quick. So you find success in a video fed. There's no conspiracy going on, no weirdness. What happens next?
Well, I basically stay in SWA, become like sort of a helper, kind of put shows together.
Staff member.
Kind of, yeah. You know,
you're not a booker, but you're a staff member.
No, yeah. I mean, if somebody wants an idea, I'll give them an idea. Somebody's like, "Hey, is this a good idea? Should we do this?" We're like, no, don't do that. Or like, I'll help out with commentary with our little 2K shows that we do. God, what else do we do? Shit. No, just kidding. We do a lot of things together that shouldn't be done with a Fed, like
random podcasts where like 4 or 5 of you get together and then you got people in chat bullshitting with you from your Fed too. It looks like a good time.
Yeah, it is. It's a fun time. I miss doing that shit. I mean, literally, I think it was yesterday or the day before or the day after was the year anniversary for when we did the After Tonight Show podcast. And I was like, holy shit, that was a year ago. I'm like, fuck. And I told Rick about it and he's like, it's like, okay, I know you're busy. Don't worry, it's okay. I'll be nostalgic for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right. Like, I mean, it turned into podcast, turned into a WrestleMania watch along.
Yeah, which
was disastrous because you've got me from Ohio, Rick in Kentucky.
Oh no,
got Thomas in West Virginia, which I fuck with them and call him Virginian because it pisses him off. Also, it pisses my buddy Justin Hicks off.
That's nice.
He'll be like, "Don't you call me Virginian, Glenn?" I'm like, calm down, Virginia Slim. And he's like, son of a bitch.
Virginia is for lovers. That's what I hear.
I know. And but with the watch along, you don't know where everybody's at with the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So say like, all right.
Oh, AJ just won. What a crazy move.
Or the one thing that I popped for was Bianca Belair beating the shit out of Sasha Banks with her hair. I popped for that because I heard the hair connect. And I was like, woo! And everybody was like, what's going on? What's going on? And I'm like, I can't, fuck you guys. I can. And then they finally got to it and they're like, oh! And I'm like, yeah?
That was my move.
But that was disaster. But it was fun. Though, at the same time,
you're having fun with your friends who you EFED with. It's cool when you can take it beyond the EFED and then you can actually hang out and spend a night together and just bullshit.
Just exactly what we did in Kentucky. We went to go see Caleb wrestle. Well, not wrestle. He got thrown into a table. So he came out to the spot with, I guess, one of the guys of where he's at. I think FCW, I believe, or FWC. I could be getting it wrong. FTC. I'm going to get butchered by Caleb. Because, like, motherfucker,
you messed it up.
Killing me, man.
Free promotion, dude.
They run out of Overton, Ohio. So
give it a Google. Give it a Google.
Yeah. But no, we actually spent the night in a hotel we don't belong in. It was for rich people, and you have wrestling fans in it. Wrestling fans who like to drink and bullshit. Not fun, especially when I'm babysitting people.
Oh,
but it was fun. It was fun for the most part. I was worried because it's a new place for me, so I'm like cautious of everything. But then I'm the ringleader. Like, all right, come on, get the fuck in there. We don't need the cops called on. Like, we can't afford to get you out of jail. What makes you think? We hardly have the money to get the hotel room.
Come on, Rick.
Like,
no, I'm kidding.
Rick wasn't the problem. Rick was sort of the
Rick's
problem.
always got some kind of problem, right?
Rick's fucking amazing. I love him.
He's a great guy. I'm just
He
bullshitting
is.
him. I just know he's going to listen. So,
I know.
Glenn, you're in SWA, and you're still there today.
Yep. Actually, former Heritage Champion, former Tag Team Champion, former two-time SWA World Heavyweight Champion. My first time was longest reigning SWA World Heavyweight Champion. Is there any other? No, not yet. Hopefully, we'll tack up the achievements. I'm going for the Extreme Championship next. It's kind of a hardcore championship.
You're trying to do the whole gambit. I see what you're doing.
Yeah, the whole gambit. I mean, Thomas did it, but there's a running joke with that. Rick put the women's title on him one time.
He really did it. He did them all.
He did it all. I don't know how he did it, but he did it.
Amazing.
But Thomas is the first Grand Slam champion. I'm hoping to be the second. I'm the first Triple Crown champion, though. The whole Tag Team, Heritage, and Heavyweight Championship together. So, I mean, I got a nice resume in SWA.
Absolutely. And you've been there for a couple of years now, right?
It's going on 2 years now.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Check out Social Media Wrestling Association on Facebook. If you're looking for a video promo fed, they'll probably be getting back to it soon. Or they're going back to a pay-per-view.
Yeah, we got fully vaccinated. Rick's idea, not mine.
That's a good one. Fully vaccinated, the next SWA pay-per-view.
Yep, that I don't know why he did that, but I was like, all right, cool, we're doing this.
Hey, listen, at a time where NBA and NFL and everybody's trying to reach a certain level of vaccination, it's a cool name. I like it.
Yeah, I think the one thing they said, like, oh, you get vaccinations coming through the door too, and I'm like, that's weird, guys. This is real, right?
This is really kind of political now.
yeah, it can get political. It's satire, though. I love satire.
Exactly. Well, good deal. So that brings us to today. Are you doing anything else other than SWA? And when are you joining my Fed, classic-wrestling.com?
Oh, what kind of Fed is it?
It is a written Fed, but it's only 750 words. That's like literally a page. That's like a page, son.
750. You're asking me a former writer.
Yes, this is like a 15-year-old writing class.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm just messing with you, man. What else you doing today?
Oh, God. So I'm in other Feds.
Okay.
SWA wasn't the only one. I kind of ventured around since I wasn't exclusive. Well, I wasn't exclusive the first time, but I saw there was other groups. I'm like, oh shit, okay, let's go venture somewhere.
Yeah.
And first one I went to when I got out of IW besides SWA was XWE, Extreme. God, they're gonna butcher me for that too. Extreme Wrestling Entertainment.
There you go.
But had a nice little run there. I'm actually going back to it. I was longest reigning X Division champion there for a while, and then kind of broke off a little bit. Oh yeah, just a little. And then went to UWO, which is Undisputed Wrestling Oath.
There you go.
It used to be another name.
Nailed that one.
But then they were like, we got to do this one. Yeah, that one I got. But we had a invasion angle with UWO with SWA.
It's a lot of letters, man.
I know, good lord. But the invasion angle was okay to a certain extent.
It never goes. Everybody says, everybody says I can book a better invasion angle than WWE, and then it never goes as well as you think it's going to go. I did the same thing.
Well, we thought, it gets eyes on SWA, which it did, because a lot of people from UWO came to SWA, some people came from SWA to UWO, And my buddy Justin Barr, who used to run UWO, he was like, "Hey, you want to come in, play around a little bit in UWO?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Kind of still bouncing around XWE and SWA. So did that. Jesus Christ, I ran into a lot of success going into that.
Nice.
Like won the internet championship, then the television championship. Got to unify those championships into the social media championship, which I named it because why not? And then won their this place has tons of belts. I'm just like, okay. So won the social media championship, and then won the Livewire championship they had, and then cashed those in to win the United States championship, and then this is weird, and then won the North American championship to unify it with the United States championship.
Now it's just the America Championship.
Yeah, it's a U.S. It's still a U.S. championship. But I was like, good Lord. I was like, guys, you're gonna get tired of putting belts on me. I was like, you're lucky I got like 22 replica belts to fucking do this shit. Like, and everybody's like, fucking 22. I'm like, I'm a collector. Like, I can't help this. But yeah, a lot of success over in UWO, and then doing another one with Outlaw Wrestling Association. This one is made by Justin Barr. Just starting up. We don't have a champion yet. Don't have
until you get a hold of it.
Yeah. No, I strictly do this for fun. No. Yeah, I do it for fun. I don't try to go hunting championships down, but Christ, that short run with the titles coming to me, I'm like, fuck Kenny Omega, dude. I'm fucking doing better than him.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we're going to have our first pay-per-view at the beginning of August. It's going to be called Untouchable. So that ought to be good. We're going to have a bi-weekly show because we don't want to kind of bombard anybody or everybody. But that's going to be called, I think, Thursday Night Shootout. I could be wrong on the day, but I know the name of the show, damn it. I know the name of the show.
It's Shootout for sure.
Shootout for sure. But that's just a lot of fun. I mean, it kind of spreads me out a little bit, which I hate.
Yeah.
But I love to do promos. Yeah. Because now I'm gonna be doing UWO, SWA,
OWA. Yeah.
OWA. It's always the ones you just join are the hardest ones to pronounce. I don't know why.
Because you don't know it yet.
And then XWE, which I'm redoing, which I'm just returning, and they put me in a championship match. I'm like, God, Jesus, calm down.
I love it.
I'm like, fuck. I'm one man. I may look like two people, but I'm one man.
I love it. Well, that brings us to today, man. That catches us up with all the feds you're in. Are all these Facebook feds?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All are Facebook.
So check them out on Facebook.
Guys.
No, just check them out on Facebook.
No websites.
Very good. So, Glenn, we got some questions from the crowd. Are you ready for them?
Oh, hell yeah. I've been ready.
I've been born ready.
I've been born for this shit. What are you talking about?
All right. On Twitter, we got at Count Novik up first. And he is a vampire, so be ready.
Okay.
How does your blood taste? Why
did I know this was going to go that route?
It's got to go that route.
I've been, I guess, irony?
Irony. That's a good one.
I mean, I am from Cincinnati, so I would think that Cincinnati chili has been replaced.
Oh, I love Cincinnati chili.
I've run with that joke so many times. They're like, so how much Cincinnati chili do you eat? I'm like, I'm pretty sure my blood is just Cincinnati chili right now.
Man, skylines are so rare up here. It's incredible. Like, you see one, you have to stop. You have to.
Yeah. Did you see they're coming out with shoes?
Oh, I'm on my way.
That's That's what I said. They won't even be a size 17. I'll be pissed.
I'll be on my way. Okay. Up next on Twitter is Justin Butrin. It's at JRock512. How often do you have to do more than one take to cut a video promo?
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah.
This is a damn good one. A lot.
Often.
A lot, because, I mean, you have to start it over, like, especially if you're like, how do you open it? A lot of people open it with the abbreviation of the Efed.
Yeah.
Like XWE. And then, like today, perfect example. I didn't know how to open up the XWE promo because it was my first one back. So I kept on going XWE. And I'm like, nope. Do it again.
Three letters in.
Yeah. So, yeah, 3 letters in. And then you'll be saying XWE for like a long ass time, or SWA a long ass time. Or, like, I'm never going to get a sentence down. It's just going to be 3 letters.
Incredible. His next question: did you witness or conduct any crazy video promos that maybe went too far?
No, not yet. I haven't.
No? Did you witness any?
No, hell no. Well, couple.
See?
There's a couple.
Well, there's always a couple.
There's a guy by the name of Thomas Austin. He's been viral. He's bitten a head of a snake off.
Oh.
He's bitten into a hornet's nest.
What?
I don't even know why. I don't even know how. I don't question it. I'm just like, special motherfucker right there. like the only craziest thing I've done was wrapped. Okay, 2 things I've done. Wrapped my arm in barbed wire just to make it look cool. But then getting it off was stupid.
Yes.
So I was like, stupid idea, Glenn. Fucking idiot. And then stapling a paper to my chest.
Ouch.
It didn't hurt. Like, okay, so when I did it, I was like, man, this is going to fucking hurt. And then I did it. I'm like, that didn't hurt. That surprises me. Like, I could take anything.
At that point, you're taking staples, for fuck's sake. All right.
Well, yeah.
Up next on Twitter is Sean Warstein, at Sean_Warstein on Twitter. Of course, that's Fuzz, staff member at classic-wrestling.com. Got to get my plugs in. First off, if your name was perfect for an Efed, what would it be?
Perfect for an Efed. Now, like, I don't know. Because we've got Big Sexy, which is basically my nickname, which is not true.
Which is Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash is, yes. UWO, they got me going as Mr. Biceps. They got me
Mr. Biceps, that's a good one.
Mr. Biceps. They Sexy Ton, which they just put sexy right in front of ton. Which, I mean, they're good. I got them over, which I can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
Then there's a character I did, which was Richard Hammerbush.
Hammerbush, nice.
Hammerbush.
Richard Hammerbush. That's a porn name. That's not a wrestling name.
It is, but it works really good.
He's got a hammer in the bushes.
Like in UWO, it's pretty popular, but it's a commentator, kind of manager kind of thing.
He asked you this question just to set up the fact that you already have the perfect e-wrestling name, Glenn Sexton. That is a wrestling name through and through.
It is. Plus, it's my real name. It didn't take me that long to get it.
It's great. You were born into it.
Because I'm terrible at thinking of ideas that are original, folks. That's why.
Next question from Sean Warstein is, how did you get into video format?
Oh, Facebook. Facebook, first and foremost. Like, my first promo ever, I was imitating one of my buddies. He was named Mr. Awesome. And I had like a button-up shirt with a red tie. Hair was kind of flowy back then. I don't know what it was doing. I had a replica championship, and I had tinfoil on top of it.
Got to
name it like the Intercontinental Championship or whatever he had back then. And I just dove into it, and everybody's like, "Holy shit, that was actually good and funny." And I'm like, "Well, I'm just something." It's like,
okay, you build your confidence up from there.
Yeah. Then you go to IW to get called fat. It works out, folks. You can become a winner too. Don't think you can't.
next question. Have you tried any other formats? Obviously, you had mentioned earlier in the show you have done written Efeds.
Written Efeds, which are fun. I'm not knocking them.
Don't
It's
knock
just
them.
that
I'm running one.
I'm not. I would never knock one.
Glenn, you better not knock it.
I won't knock it, but how dare you ask me if I want to join?
I'm ready for it. Brother, I just got someone who stopped role-playing in 2004 to come back to my Efed, and he went all the way to the he's in the finals right now of my world title tournament.
Oh, I love a good tournament. You can't even do a tournament with other Efeds either.
Here's the thing. My Efed is based on the 80s. It's super gimmicky, super micro size writing. All the segments, everything is like this short. Everything's great. Easy to do. It's bi-weekly. Classic-wrestling.com.
He's trying so hard to sell me on this one, folks.
I sell every guest. It's going to be great.
He's like, Glenn, come on. You know you want to join, Glenn. Come on.
See? Wait till after the show ends. It's going to get bad.
Set in the 80s.
No. It's set today, but it's 80s wrestling. Like, the whole premise is the 80s never died.
All right. Okay. I'm down with that. I got that.
Kayfabe was never broken. You're in character all the time.
Kayfabe. It's always broken now.
It's so broken. All right, that's what we got from the Twitter machine. Let's see what we got on the Discord side of things, because we got some questions there as well.
Sweet. I love this. I love answering questions.
It's so much fun, right? Let's talk about enough about you. Let's talk more about you.
Yeah.
All right, season 3 coming soon. That's Meg on the Discord. How do you remain in character the whole time when doing a video?
How do I remain in character the whole time?
And do you ever break character?
I break character all the time. Honestly, it's just me. Like
if you were doing something over the top, it would be really hard, much harder to do than being you.
Yeah. Like I got an idea for a character. I don't know how it's gonna work, but I want to do it.
I'm already intrigued.
All right, I want to tell you, but I don't want to tell you.
Give me a hint.
All right, I'll give you one hint. Great Muda.
Okay, that's all the hint we need. I really like where you're going.
That's all I needed.
Okay.
But I think it'd be hard to be in character for that. For me,
all the time.
I'll look at it and be like, "You look fucking ridiculous. You need to fucking laugh or something."
I like it. All right, up next on Discord is MDG. That's Modern Day Gladiators. You can check out his board wrestling card game at drivethrurpg.com.
Oh, yeah.
Any relation to Adam Copeland?
No, I wish, though. I so wish. Dude,
I'm glad you got the joke right away.
Dude, if so, oh, God. I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be going in the front door of WWE right now.
Right now, son. I like that.
Right now. Like, you want a championship turn? Like, dude, take me with you. Like, I'll take a spear from you or something.
I'll do anything.
Like,
yes.
Like, God damn it, my crazy cousin from Cincinnati. Jesus.
What do you think would be the most difficult promo you ever cut?
That's a good one. Any serious promo, really. Like, if your character kind of has to go serious and be serious and stay serious, it's got to be that.
When you're not doing serious all the time. Like, if you're serious all the time, sure, that's your character. But if you're comedy / cocky and then you go into seriousness, then it's tougher to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to do hints of seriousness than go and do full-on serious. I'm looking down the barrel of this camera right now, and I'm going to be really serious. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it, because then I'll be looking at myself and be like, shut the fuck up. I mean, there's like a set of promos that I did for IW. It's like a documentary style kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was semi-serious, but it was like a 7-parter. But I knew people were getting tired of me fucking talking because because in between me doing the documentary parts, I was actually doing promo.
So you were promoing and narrating.
Yeah, okay, there's like a promo and then documentary part.
Okay.
And then promo, so I was in character, out of character. So in character in the promos, out of character in documentary mode. And everybody's like, well, this is kind of intriguing. This is kind of cool and everything. It was for...
And 7 pieces later, they're like, okay, dude.
Like, dude, shut the fuck up. We get it.
At least you're self-aware.
Yeah. I get it, because Jesus Christ, 7 parts. I was like, dude, you need to shut up. You need to, you got to find something else to do.
Wrap it up, yeah.
Wrap this bitch up, man.
Awesome.
How much longer can you do this?
What is the best one you've ever seen, and what made it so impactful for you? Best video promo.
Best video promo. Good Lord. That means I got to talk about somebody else.
I know. Just for a second, you got to put someone else over.
Which I have no problem doing.
Mr. Biceps.
Oh, God. I heard it outside of my UWO now. That's weird. I'm trying to think, because there's been a lot of them. A lot of good ones in SWA. A lot of good ones in UWO. Good Lord. I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that one.
That's okay. That's good that you've seen a lot of really good ones.
Yeah, I mean, I could sit here and bullshit and be like, mine. No, I'm not going to do that. There's tons of other people.
Give a couple of names. Just not even the promo, just the names.
Tyler Throne. He's amazing. Casey Campbell. I'm trying to think of some others. Cody Bentley, who is known by everybody from different fucking names. He's like the Mick Foley of Efed right now. He'll have a dark character. Well, he'll have a dark character, then he'll have an even darker character, then he'll have a lighter dark character, which I'll be like, okay, that's a little too much, but okay, I respect it.
I like it.
But Rick, he can throw down a good promo. Thomas can throw down a good promo. Caleb can definitely throw down a good promo. Everybody I've came in contact with has thrown down damn good promos, except for one person, which I just recently seen, and I'm like, it's so bad it's good.
I know what you're saying.
It's one of those things you've got to see it to believe it, and it's like, damn, okay, that was so bad that it was good, and I'm going to talk about it forever.
Amazing. Up next is Smash. How do you feel about someone viewing any of this out of context in 10 to 20 years?
Go for it, dude. Yes.
You don't care.
I watched my my YouTube stuff because I thought I could make it big in YouTube. No. Dude, I cringed so hard just watching myself. I'm like, dude, fucking stop. Mm-hmm. So, I'll cringe if somebody watches a promo. I'll be like, oh, God.
Don't comment. Please don't comment.
don't comment on that. I had an ex of mine. She's like, why are you always, kind of talking in the apartment to yourself and all that shit? And so I was like, you want to see? All right, here you go. Whole time, my face is caving into itself like I ate a shit ton of warheads.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, don't think different of me. And now I'm not with her anymore. Not because of what
Sure, Glenn. No, I've been in the same situation where it got. You always hide it from the woman at first, and then you get to a point where either if you're going to be committed to them, you got to let them know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And now I do a podcast. I run Efed. I got all this stuff. My wife, she knows what's going on.
She's a keeper.
There's no way.
Yes. Well, let's see. I do a podcast on Friday. It's not Efed, but we talk about wrestling news and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then we do my shows, on Feds and stuff like that. I mean, it's crazy.
How do they don't see my hand?
It's called a background, bud. My son was like, how do they not see my hand? It's like a background. That's why.
Now I see his hand.
There you go.
The floating arms. Yeah.
Get the charger, bud. Interrupted by my son.
No, you're good. You're good. It's not the first
Which-
kid interruption.
He's over in SWA. Everybody loves him.
I've got 4.
Jesus, you've been more busy than me.
I'm 6 now.
Okay, you're 6.
He's 6. Okay.
He's 6.
Alex Smiley's up next. Do you find yourself worrying about technical things like lighting and framing when you're doing your video promos, or are you more point and shoot type?
Point and shoot.
Yeah.
Like in IW, it's green screen heavy and lighting heavy, very editing oriented.
Yep.
If that's the word. Like for the longest time, I used to have like a piece of paper, single piece of paper. Hell, I just brought it back to do promos. It says green screen here, right on a wall. And I got a better sign that says green screen here, but it has 3 middle fingers on the bottom of it. I've been told like, man, you promo good, but they'd be better if you had a green screen. And I'm like, I don't need a green screen to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, most of my promos, you usually see me just leaning up against the balcony, talking to the camera. Now I'm actually getting back into standing up on a tripod. The camera standing up on the tripod. I don't need people thinking, "Why the hell is this guy standing on?"
How
a
does he
tripod
do
doing a
that?
promo?
Yeah.
How does he do it? But usually I do promos during the daytime. Do it on my balcony or this ring light I have. I'll do something with it. But other than that, it's just point and shoot. I mean, everybody asks me like, "Well, how do you set up a promo?" I'm like, "Go do it. Just
run."
Like,
yeah.
Listen to that guy's promo a couple times, then go for it. And if it sounds like shit, do a couple takes. Do 10,000 of them.
Finally, from Lachlan Cade /Ruzilla, how often do you scrap something you've done and start over? That question was kind of already asked. Very often.
Yeah, very, very often.
I haven't seen anyone outside of El Diablo doing shoots in character, and when he does, he wears a mask. Would you say having a mask would make it easier to at least get started for somebody?
I'd say so, especially if you're new to it. I mean, I've known Caleb and Thomas. They do promos in masks all the time. It's kind of like a safety blanket.
Yeah.
Which I would give for somebody doing it. That's new. If you're trying to figure out your voice for a promo, or hell, your face for a matter of fact, how you're going to look. I mean, I probably looked like a deer in a headlight with my first couple goes in a promo. But a mask would definitely help. Makeup is pretty awesome too.
Yeah.
Like I love doing a promo in makeup. It just adds more creativity to it, and it's yours. But yeah, I mean, go for it. Do it with a mask. I'd say that. I mean, I love masks.
If that's what it took to get you into it, then I say go for it and try to see if you can build your confidence enough to take that mask off.
Yeah, all I ask, because I see a lot of it in promos, don't do the Purge mask, or don't do, and Rick's going to kill me for this one, don't do the V for Vendetta mask, because it's been done. It's all over the place. If you do it, make it your own. Have fun with it.
Get a lucha
That's
mask. Come on, guys. It's wrestling.
There you go.
I like it. Glenn, that's what we got for you today on the Efed podcast. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you doing the interview. I've had a good time talking to you and getting to know you better.
No, thanks for having me, man. I mean, it's been fun doing it. It took a year to do it. But
it's a good time. Yeah. For you patrons out there, patreon.com/Efed podcast. You'll get the video first. So check out the video there. Otherwise, Glenn, I appreciate you. Hope you have a great night, buddy.
Oh, you too, bro.
That's going to wrap us up for another edition of the Efed podcast this week, guys. Thanks so much for listening. I want to thank Glenn, Big Glenn, for coming on the show today. Had a blast talking to him, joking with him, having a couple of beers with him, and hope you had fun listening to it as well. Want to thank each and every one of our listeners. Want to thank our sponsors and, of course, our patrons over at patreon.com/Efed podcast. I would be remiss if we didn't mention them. Did a little hangout the other night. A little bit of low attendance, but we'll get there. We're going to get back to it. We're going to do something fun soon. And hoping to see you guys over there too at patreon.com/efed podcast.
We're going to have to soon because I'm not paying for this Peacock much longer.
Amen to that. Bad Graps is every Graps. Okay, anyway. Otherwise, guys, thanks for tuning in. Episode 77. We've made it this far. We're coming back at you again next week with Justin. Justin, the handler of Stalker Jason Reeves. It's going to be a fun interview, and we get a little topsy-turvy on that one, Brian.
Oh,
Tipsy-turvy.
Tipsy, topsy, dripsy, dropsy.
Very turvy, yes.
All the turves.
We're going to have fun, so tune in next time here on the EFED podcast. Of course, for Brian, I'm Mikey, where the wrestling is written,
But the characters are real.
You've been listening to the Efed podcast only on the Atomic Jobcast Network, presented commercial free on Patreon.
Hello?